Grüezi and welcome to a new series for King's Bounty, Warriors of the North, Ice and Fire. So this is an RPG adventure kind of game with a turn-based combat system with very lovely animations and characters and everything. I really like it. It's rather old at this stage, but I will nevertheless make a playthrough here. So first of all, we have to pick a class. Vikings are your average warrior class, basically, focusing on damage and little to not at all on magic. The Skald is a bit of a mixed class, also focusing mostly on numbers, more so than sheer damage potential. And they're kind of the jack of all trades and also usually the best in these games. Then there's a Soothsayer, which is the simple mage, and yeah, I like magic most of all, so that's what I'm going with. So I will play this on normal difficulty since I'm not that great of a player at this game, even though I've played it for more than 600 hours already. So yeah, let's dive right in. We are Olaf the Magician with our little Viking helmet emblem there, and yeah, let's get going. So first of all, we will see a flyby of the island that we are currently on. There we go. This is us here, by the way. This gives you a rough idea of what we're going to face here, with some glitching happening there. This is a really bug-plagued game, unfortunately. There were very many bugs in the past, some of which have been fixed. But yeah, I will probably still encounter the occasional crash. So this is Eric, and he's saying, "Hey there, weakling. Heard the news? Father is looking for a strong warrior to lead the troops against the undead." And me saying, "And I suppose you volunteered?" "I would have volunteered, but I'm the future king, and our people depend on me. I cannot place my life at such risk. Besides, I've already done my share of daring exploits, while you were still playing with your toy soldiers. Don't be so smug, Eric. Someone else might defeat the undead and become king in your stead. Think about it." The day has not started well. You met your elder brother Eric, who still flaunts the fact that soon he will be king. In his usual sarcastic manner, he remarked that your father, Tormund the Fierce, is looking for a worthy warrior who will be able to stop the invasion of the undead. Here's your chance to claim some fame for yourself and earn the respect of the other men. Alright, so we control this mostly with the mouse. We can rotate the camera with the right mouse click and use the left mouse click and holding it down to move around. So this is the castle of Tormund, our father. "Greetings, Olaf. What brings you here? Have you heard that I'm looking for brave warriors?" "Greetings, father. Yes, Eric said." "Aye, by your face I can see that he has been picking on you again. But what can I do? Put him in a corner? You're both fully grown now." "No, you'll have to deal with him yourself. As you know, a sword grows stronger the harder the blacksmith works it. Accept these taunts from your brother as blows from the hammer. Learn to tolerate them, and you will become a stronger sword." "But Eric has been saying that he will be the next king after you. It would be so much better if I became king instead." "So that's it. You know, Olaf, being king means much more than being the son of a king. You must also earn the respect of the soldiers. Eric has proven himself worthy. But I'll give you a chance to shine. Nordlic has been struck by a terrible attack. The walking dead are appearing in increasing numbers, arising from their tombs even in the light of day. Go speak to the Soothsayer. Old Runolf knows much of the undead and may be able to suggest how you might deal with them." "Very well, father. I'll be back soon." "Hold on, son. Take this amulet. This amulet has been passed down in our family for many years. I got it from my father and he received it from his, and so on. Well, you understand. I was going to give the amulet to Eric as my eldest son and heir, but now, after all your labors, I do not hesitate to pass it on to you. Keep it with honor and remember about all your ancestors who possessed it before you. It is named Rage of Valkyries. It allows to unleash your rage on the battlefield, but I don't know why it is named after celestial virgins. Thank you, Father. I will wear it in memory of our ancestors. Alright, so your father gave you this amulet, which has been passed down through your family from father to son. This ancient magic amulet enables its wearer to direct his rage against the enemy on the battlefield. Wear it with pride and keep firm the honor of your ancestors. So this is something that we can look at here, no, actually not, on the hero screen, the Rage of the Valkyries amulet. So this for now has just one ability, the Viking Vortex, which deals some damage to surrounding troops, but we'll go to that in a bit when we fight our first battle. First of all, what we can do is talk to the guy again. So I can ask him to tell him one of his stories, but yeah, let's do that. What can I do for you, Olaf? Have you come to recruit more warriors for your army, or are you just joining the party? Tell me one of your stories, father. I remember when we were in the steppes of Rakato. Suddenly, Runolf and I were attacked by two meaty trolls. They took away our weapons, tied us up, and began to argue about how they should cook us in their big pot, with or without spices. While they were busy shouting at each other, the sun came up and they turned to stone on the spot. Can you imagine? One minute they were arguing over the best way to eat two Vikings, and the next they were stood a couple of statues. And they're still there to this day. You used to tell Eric and myself many stories every night, but this one I don't remember. So this is obviously a hint at the Lord of the Rings, where this exact thing happened with Bilbo and his troop of dwarves. But it's fun to see it anyway pop up here. So in castles we can usually recruit units, buy equipment and buy spells. Right now we only have 1,000 gold, and I'm not going to spend any of it as of right now, because there's going to be a tutorial fight for which I don't want to use any troops. Alright, so I will just take everything out because I'll just get them back anyway afterwards. So let's head out. Let's explore our surroundings. What I'm doing here is digging. I will be doing this very regularly because there might be hidden chests underground, like this one, but, well, out of sight. Magic crystals will become a little more important rather soon. I will talk about them once it actually matters. So there was nothing in this tree stump, but you know, whatever. So this here is leadership. The amount of troops you can control is decided by your leadership. It is shown down here and rises up with each level up, as well as finding various items along the map, like the flags we just found. As the Soothsayer class, we are not that great with leadership. Oh, see, we found a hidden treasure. 2 healing scrolls. That's nice. I will come into that all a little bit later. So 20 more leadership, that's fine. The smithy is unusually quiet, especially for a smithy. Apparently the village blacksmith, Uncle Guttorm, is away at present. Spoiler alert, that's him right there. We also have this little guy here that looks kind of sad. Greetings, Olaf. How was your day? Not as black as mine, I trust? Why so sad, Snorri? And where's Tori? Gone for a beer or something? Don't mention that traitor's name in my presence. I don't even want to hear it. What happened? You've been friends with Tori for as long as I can remember. Friends, Olaf, friends. What kind of a friend would you call him? The scoundrel stole my magic amulet of wolf's fangs. My amulet, my grandfather fashioned it himself, and that coward Tori stole it, and refuses to confess. May he burn in hell. Wait a minute, if he didn't confess, why are you so certain that this is his handiwork? And who else might it have been? Judge for yourself. Last night we drank a little beer. I know your idea of a little. 2 barrels, eh? Until there wasn't a drop left. It was but a single keg. I told you, we only drank a little. You know, you should stop interrupting, Olaf. Anyway, I woke up the next morning, never an easy thing to do. And suddenly I realized something was missing, my amulet. Oh no, and then next to me lies the scoundrel Dory, fast asleep. Well, I woke him up and said stop playing around and give me back my amulet. And what did he say? He called me a fool and said that he'd never touched my talisman in his whole life. Oh, and then he went back to sleep. so I slapped him across the ear to get him to stop pretending. Oh no, you don't want to be around Dory when he's been hit in the ear. You're not joking? He immediately jumped up and gives me one right back. Snorri gingerly touches his black eye. He certainly didn't let the grass grow under his feet, and so we fell out. The most important thing is that he continues to deny that he stole the amulet. The slimy toad. Let me talk to Dory, maybe he'd be more open with me? Talk to me if you want, just tell him from me that he's a villain and a thief, and no friend of mine. I'll be back soon. So, we have to find the amulet or just talk to this guy, and that's it. Alright, for now there's nothing else to do in the village, so let's get out of here. And talk to Guttorm Striker. Bah! Who's that I see? It's young Olaf. Where are you gallivanting off to now, you rogue? I've got to go, Guttorm. I'm in a hurry. My father has asked me to take care of the undead infestation. Now you're talking. The undead, you say? I do hope you remember which end of the axe to strike with, eh, lad? Come along then. Let's see your valiant prowess. Aye, and maybe I'll even give you a piece of advice while we're at it. So I have now the choice of either going with him or to continue my quest without basically a tutorial level. But you gain experience and items from there, so it's definitely worth doing that. From what Father said, it sounded pretty urgent, but on second thought, let's go. A bit of exercise wouldn't hurt. And there we go. So we're now in a cave, and we can talk to him again. Hey-oh, it's a bit nippy in here. Tell you what, lad, do you want to warm up? Well, how about you fetch us a keg of beer? Alright, you've had your laugh, Guttorm, but you're just distracting me from our mission. And for what? To fetch you some beer? Like I told you, I'm on an important mission to destroy the undead. Don't get yourself excited, Olaf. Just listen first. What we really need is to take care that keg of beer that the Cyclops owns. Cyclops? Cyclop. Aye, that one. Can you imagine there's a Cyclops in our cellars? And most importantly, can you imagine he doesn't even drink the beer? What sort of a man lets something like that pass, eh, mate? Haha, and when the beer is won in battle, it tastes all the better. Cyclops, you say? Aye, a Cyclops. I myself would beat him senseless with his own arm, but I'm feeling pretty groggy this morning. My stomach had too many old biscuits and merry times. And, oh, how my head hurts. If only I had a beer. I'd sure feel right as rain. A hangover, eh? So it was you up all night bawling your drunken songs. I should have put the noose around you myself, you old dog. Okay, so where is this Cyclops of yours? Oh, slow down a minute. Ah, what a headache. Say, did you ever see a Cyclops before? Somehow I never... say no more. Take some of my soldiers with you. They'll give you a hand with the beast. And here, take this axe. It's better than using your bare hands anyway. Very well, blacksmith. I'll find your beer. Your beer. Look, you don't need to kill the Cyclops. You can get the beer by outsmarting him if you like. I had a little tussle with him yesterday, and for a moment he got the upper hand, and, well, that's when he carried off the beer. But anyhow, if you can lure him away from the prize, you can duck back and pick the keg without the fight. I don't mind if you let him live. In fact, I might do the same, but it's up to you. Got it? Sure, crystal clear. You will soon have your beer. So this was a hint that we can go about this two ways, basically, and also how to kite enemies. As you can also see, we've got ourselves some units. Actually, let's go over the units for a second here. So, slingers here have a leadership of 22, so we can have a certain number of them. Our leadership has also been increased for the duration of this mission to accommodate for the number of troops here. Attack increases the damage bonus you get against enemies that have a lower defense, so those two go together. Initiative means how early you can act in battle. Speed is how far you can move. Crit chance is obvious, and the damage has a range. And health is also pretty obvious. Once the number drops, you lose 1 unit in the stack. They're also hardened, which increases their ice resistance, as well as they get more defense in snowy areas. They're a shooter, so they use their slingshot to attack enemies from afar. They don't get a penalty when attacking up close, unlike other ranged units. They are accurate, which means that a critical hit has a 20% chance of inflicting a weakness debuff on the enemy. And runic knowledge just means they have a set of runes that they can use to boost their stats. Alright, and then we have the mystics. So they have also those same stats. Actually, I forgot something about those guys. They have the Hail of Stones, an area of effect attack that we can use every 3 turns. Yeah, and the mystics. So they have Magic Missile, which is just a remote attack missile, basically. Then World of Spirits allows them to deal additional damage against undead and increase their morale if there's undead in the enemy army. They cannot be turned undead and they can tolerate the presence of undead in your army. Magic Protection just gives them some resistance. Persistence of Mind allows them to not be affected by anything like a mind spell. Trance is something that comes into play with the talents, and Runic Knowledge means they have runes to start with. So this one just means that they can take control of an enemy unit for 1 turn. Depending on a little bit of factors, we will see that more in battle. And this one gives a 30% bonus of attack and defense to the rest of the units here. Overall, it's kind of a support unit, but still nice. And the Viking is a rather weak unit in my opinion. It's also hardened like the Slingers. They're vengeful, so if they lose half their troops, they only perform critical hits. And they also have some runes. Additionally, they have a shield bash, allowing them to move 1 more cell and inflicting a damage that cannot be retaliated against. They also have Berserker, 1 charge of it, which increases initiative, attack and critical hit, but lowers defense, and they will no longer be under my control. Can be quite powerful, but also quite dangerous. Now those girls here, they are the best unit in my opinion for one single reason. This one here. This one allows us to resurrect some units, and we can do that every 4 turns. Here we have an attack ability from afar, so we throw a spear that deals quite a lot of damage and also reloads every 3 turns. She's armored, so they get more physical damage reduction and fire damage reduction. Gift of Odin allows them to not suffer retaliation of enemies of level 1 to 3 that have lower leadership than the stack of warrior maidens. Messenger of the Gods is actually pretty cool. That raises the initiative of Vikings in the army. And lowers attack and defense of enemies next to her. Beautiful just makes male humanoids miss with a probability of 30%. Some magic resistance here. Bear Cavalry gives morale to bears in the army, and some runes for her. All in all, a lot of bonuses, so pretty cool. Then we have the Jarl. So he has sweeping strikes, attacking 3 enemies at once. Then Battle Cry that fears enemies and gives him a moral bonus per enemy feared. And Call to Battle, which allows a unit to go a 2nd time in 1 turn. They're also hardened. They have an enchanted armor that gives them resistance to physical and fire damage, as well as having a 20% chance to halve the damage they receive, which is pretty cool. They are daring, increasing the attack value by 2 each time they inflict a critical hit, up to 20, which is pretty great. The Troops Battle Axe is can inflict ice, an ice affliction to the enemy, ice debuff, that will slow them down and also cause them to lose damage, lose health each turn. Shoulder to Shoulder increases the attack and defense of troops of level 1 to 3 standing near them, and they also got some runes. The level of units is up here, and what we can also see up here is the race of any given unit, so they hate the undead. That just gives them a moral penalty if they are in an army that contains undead units. Alright, so we're over the units. I feel like that's important for now, but we probably see how everything works in just a bit here. Alright, we found another chest. This one always spawns here, that's why I went there particularly. So we went here. You do not have to fight with each monster on the map to collect the items they guard. Sometimes it's easier to distract the monster and then quickly grab the prize, avoiding the battle altogether. Yeah, this is the kiting mechanic I was pointing out earlier. So we found another magic crystal and some gold lying on the floor here. And this is the beer keg. Finally, the coveted keg of beer is yours. You must take it as soon as possible to the poor suffering gutter. So we can just run away now, but since fighting actually gives experience and I want to level up and show you how fights work, that's what I'm gonna do. So this is just an explanation of how runes work. I will do that by myself. Right, so that's just more tutorial basically. So this is the battlefield. We see here we have the highest initiative, so we go first with the warrior maiden here. The numbers next to it in green here and yellow there, red there, means this is the turn order everything's gonna take. So first of all, there's you probably cannot see it very well, but there's a difference in coloring from this tile to this tile. This is slightly darker, meaning if we go there, we will not be able to attack in the same turn. But if we go here, we will be able to do that. So, another thing is we have a spell book. Currently we know 2 spells, magic missiles that deals 75 damage to mages, 75 damage and 150% of that to mages, and slow, which just increases the speed of a unit for 2 turns. It costs mana, of which we currently have 26. Right. We will eventually be able to upgrade the spells, but that requires us to level up and invest in some skills in the skill tree. We also have scrolls down here. These are one-use applications of whatever they are for. So this one gives us some healing for our troops or damage for enemy undead troops, or actually also own undead troops. Runic Word, which gives us more runes for a specific troop. And Winter Dance that causes a damage in a circle around a given spot for 50 to 70 damage. Right, so I'm going to use the magic missile on these guys here, because this immediately kills them, and I know that they're a little bit annoying, because they have this one here. Performs a ranged attack, which has a chance of lulling the enemy to sleep for 1 turn. The lower the enemy level, the higher the chance of rendering him unconscious. So what this translates to is that if they attack a level 1 unit, like for example our slingers, it will basically be guaranteed sleepiness, and they will usually also target low level units, so I want them dead. Another thing is they soar, so they don't take damage from traps basically and fly over low obstacles. They are a shooter, so they perform their attack at range. They also don't have any melee penalty. They do more attack. They have more attack if the battle is on the ground, like this one here. And their persistence of mind, so no mind abilities can affect them. Alright, let's kill them. So, since it was stated that we do 75 damage, but also 150% damage to mages, this was apparently considered as a mage unit. That's alright. So, I will want to use my Spear of Wrath in this round, because I will not be able to reach the enemy. I could wait and let them come to me first, but I don't quite want to do that. So let's also have a look at the other enemies first. So we have the polar bear, which is a beast, which gives them less fire resistance but more for cold. They're brutal, meaning that when they are attacked, they double their attack, which can be quite significant. Hibernation means if they defend for the turn, they will fall asleep, meaning they cannot act, and actually restore some health. They're also hardened, so the same thing as we had for the Vikings here, and they're immune to freezes. and they have a chance to stun enemies. They also have 1 charge to run, giving them 2 more action points, meaning just increasing the speed, basically. They also have Icy Grip, which is just a damaging ability against an enemy, and have Spirit of the North, which gives level 1 to 4 allies basically more resistance to cold and more ice damage, but less initiative. So they're quite a high value target against us. Also, we have the wolves here, which also have beast. They're night vision, so they're also better during the night with 50% more attack. Rabbit, so they have a chance of making the attacked unit rabbit, which just makes them attack anybody, even own units. And they gain some additional stats from having more units in the stack. They also have Howl, which allows all humans, elves and dwarves of level 1 to 2 be feared, and they have a chance of skipping their turn. Remember, we have a level 1 unit. We also have a level 2 unit here, so that's quite bad. We also kind of want to take those out. But we cannot take them all out, so we'll have to decide for what we go. So the speed boost here will go from here up to potentially in this row, so we should be safe if we just run straight ahead here. So we will now kill 2 to 3 wolves. We can also now use a Rune of Attack or any of the other ones to boost this attack. So Rune of Attack gives more attack value here and also some crit chance. The defense rune gives some health and defense. And the Rune of Luck has a chance of causing us to get a free turn, basically. So I'm going to use the Luck rune because the wolves will run up to me. So this is already guaranteed. I'm going against the highest stack here in order to kill them as quickly as possible. So they did actually manage to get a second turn here. As you can see, there's a 7. Otherwise it would show minus like the wolves have. Did they actually... No, they were waiting. Alright, nobody was howling then, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. So, what we're going to do with the Vikings here, we're going to move them here, so out of range of everything, and finishing their turn. With the Mystics, I'm going to use Mind Games on the enemy Polar Bears, ending their turn. And now with the Jarls, I am going to give a second turn to the Vikings. This will allow them to use their bash ability against the wolves, so that's nice. I will also move one more field ahead so that we can give our shoulder-to-shoulder bonus. Actually doesn't matter for the warrior maidens since they're also level 4, but I will still move them forward so we're closer to that battle. Then the bear I will position here, so that makes sure that I used up the run ability so the enemy can't use it again after they've gained control. And I'm also going to use the Spirit of the North ability because that just gives us a damage bonus basically, which is great. And the slingers can now attack one of those guys, preferably these. For the reason that the Vikings will attack, they will gain initiative from Berserker, so they will likely act first in the next turn, and I don't want the Viking to die or take any casualties there. So a quirk of controlling enemy units is that the enemy likely goes after their own unit first. I don't know why this is coded this way, but well, it is coded this way. Alright, the warrior maidens can attack here again, but unfortunately the enemy will counterattack. If you look at the wolves, those will not, and the reason for that is the Gift of Odin. So these girls have 400 leadership in total, so 2 times 200, and these wolves here have a total leadership of 150, and those guys have a total leadership of 450, so it does not apply to them. But it doesn't matter, they're going to be too weak to deal any significant damage. So, since the AI never uses this if they have other choices, I will use up the movement points, almost all of them, so that it is the only option to hit the wolves. So what I'm gonna do is to take the Rune of Attack and then make them Berserk. That makes them use the Shield Bash against the wolves, and then probably start the next turn against the other wolves and potentially getting themselves killed. We'll see how it goes. So, okay, that was actually not too bad. That means now they just attack those guys. Another thing we have that I might have used before was the Rage here. We gain Rage from hitting and being hit, so I should use this one. Since those bears are not really ours, I can just use this, damaging all 3 units here. So, alright, I should probably also use some spells to kill off enemy units. I will wait on that one. Let's see, let's do this one. So again, they attack the bears. The mystics now skip their turn and are no longer entranced, meaning that the bears are now in enemy hands again. What I now can do is I can use my spell to kill them off. Or, actually I have a better plan. I will use the spell on these guys. So now we've killed them. We can now use the Battle Cry ability, which makes the wolves run away in fear. They are now also feared, meaning they will not attack any higher level units like the Jarls. But also, we can now step up here and use the area of attack effect on the bears. Why not? Killing them, killing also the wolves. I didn't expect that. Was a lucky crit. Alright, we get some after battle stats and everything, so we dealt most of the damage actually with Rage. Alright, our first battle is over, and we can now actually have a look at our screen here. We have the skill tree here for magic, for mind and for might. The difference of the classes also influences what kind of skills you have available. Higher magic and alchemy are only available to magic. The mind ones are only for the Skald class, and might are only for the Viking class. I also forgot to equip my weapon here, giving me 1 attack. So this attack is transferred to our units. So you can see here 6 and in brackets 4, meaning the base units that is 4 attack, but they get 6 from various bonuses. Right, so you can see here they have actually positive moral. You can see that by the smiley face here, giving plus 10% attack and defense and 120% crit chance. So not only do we get 1 point of attack from the item, but also 10% more, giving 1 more. It's probably just rounded up. Alright, so we got our beer, so it's high time to go back to Guthrum. Let's take the other way here, because there is a flag that we need to catch, giving us some more leadership. Alright. Let's just search the rest of the place a little bit, there might be hidden chests. Well, oh my boy, I can see it in your eyes. You've got it. Give it over, quick. Careful, it's a heavy keg. Here you are. Right now we have it. You can't refuse a drink with an old blacksmith now, can you? So, somewhere around here I had a horn. He ransacks all his bags. Oh, that's some trouble. Olaf, oh dear me. What's wrong now? My horn, my drinking horn. Aye, even my great-grandfather drank from it. Oh, I'm lost. Oh, what a fool I am. What am I to do? I've lost it then? Think now. When and where? You had it yesterday, right? You tied one on pretty good yesterday, in fact. Guthrum scratches his head. Aye, 'tis true what you say, lad. Where did those spirits lead me last night? Oh, it was quite a battle, that it was. I did us proud, my boy. And the spirits are singing your praises this morning as well, they should. But you heard them too? Aye, the spirits speak to me as well, sometimes. In fact, we had a meeting planned for today, but never mind, we're not going to talk about that. I'm pretty sure he overslept it. I remember seeing the horn, then dropping it while we were fighting. Oh, how my head is splitting. I saw the eyes on the curving slopes. Be a good friend and find the cave where I was grappling with the spirits, and look for the horn. Could you do this for me? Can you just drink out of the barrel? Then later when your headache passes you can go looking for the horn yourself. Nay, I can drink from the barrel, Olaf. Without the horn I simply can't drink. It's a family vow. What, is it too much I'm asking of you? You're a Nord, son of Tormund, which means that you can see treasures even when they're buried underground. It's quite a fine ability, I suppose, although the Viking life is simple and our needs are few. And our lands are so rich that we have all the treasures we need scattered about the island on every forest path. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. That horn of yours is decorated with gemstones. Exactly. Now get yourself to that cave. By the way, you might find a few spiders down the dark, but pay them no mind. My horn must be on the ground where I defeated the spirits. Search the cave carefully. When you approach an object hidden in the ground, you'll see how it shines and a bright beam appears to glow. There you must dig. If you find what you're looking for, get yourself back here. But don't return without the horn. I hope you won't drink all the beer without me. Alright, so I was already digging, but I didn't quite show you that beam of light. This is what he's talking about. Usually I just spam the dig key because you can easily miss that beam. You kind of have to stand in its place for a little bit before it starts appearing, or just be in the exact spot it can appear. So I'm just gonna spam it every now and then. Alright, you can dig? Yeah, right, that was just some help there. So I know for a fact there's an item buried here. An ordinary helmet giving us some defense. Alright. The equipment slots are slightly different for each class as well. So the Soothsayer focuses mostly on artifacts. The Skald focuses mostly on regalia, I guess it's called. And the Viking has a balance of both. Doesn't really matter as of yet anyway, since we have none. So we found some eggs, spider eggs, in the webs here. What we can do is we can use it to give us some spider troops, but since they are rather weak I will not do that. Some gold here and some spiders here. Alright, as you might have seen we have only 4 rage now while we had 10 before and used 4 for one ability. That is because rage actually decreases out of battle. On the opposite, mana increases when you're out of battle. So it's kind of a balance, really. There's a way we can go about this later, but for now it doesn't really matter. We will definitely start off with the ability here to actually kill the fire spider. That was a bad idea because now I can show what it actually does. Let's look at the normal venomous spider here. So they have some rather poor stats in general. They're poisonous, so a chance of inflicting poison. Themselves are poison immune, and they're vulnerable to fire. Then we also have the undead spider here, which is undead, giving them poison resistance, ice persistence, more attack at night and underground, moral in cemeteries, and take more damage from holy attacks, and are immune to mind spells. They are cursed, so whenever attacking they have a 50% chance of cursing the enemy. And Necro Energy is a very long text, but basically when attacking they accumulate it, and when they have a certain number of it they can use it. Also if it goes to 100 it will resurrect some of the troop. Alright, let's kill some spideys. So we can kill a maximum of 6 normal ones or 5 undead ones, so let's probably just kill those off, then we have them killed. There's also a reward system for killing enemies with spells. I'm going to show that just in a second. So I will go up to this chest and do the Rune of Luck and attack the highest threat here, which I believe is probably the poison spiders, now that I think of it. So they got the second turn, which is nice. And I will do the same thing again like I did before, by using up their whole turn, going here and then using the bash there. While I do have the ability now to control one of those guys' mind, I don't think it's quite useful right here. So what I'm gonna do is instead I will use the attack just on these spiders, dealt some extra damage because of on that, and you also got another turn from the luck rune. Very often I don't comment the luck runes just because it's gonna get tedious to do so. But yeah, let's give those guys another turn and move one ahead. Oh no, they took the treasure. I wanted to do that. Never mind then. Alright, so you guys also move ahead. Luck rune, and actually not that one. You kill the spiders. Got a crit. How nice. So you then... I mean, sure, why not? Problem is I can't really use the Viking now with their bash ability. But yeah, never mind. The battle's gonna be over before that anyway. Let's kill those. It was a very easy battle anyway. Alright, let's continue. So we killed some spiders, there's more spider eggs. Basically, even if you don't intend on using stuff, you should still gather it, because you will be able to sell it. We also found ourselves a Dispel scroll. Quite nice. That's just some tutorial text that I'm gonna skip, because I know all that stuff. Another spider egg. More gold. More gold, and I think here we will find... No, not here. Okay. I thought here was the Horn of Guthorm. Alright. Let's kill those spiders. So here is also a new thing. The Cursed Cross can inflict a number of bad effects on us, including damaging us, so I do really not want to stand anywhere near it. Can we kill any of the enemies right now? Looks like we cannot. So let's run up to here and try to take out... Let's take out those. We will definitely kill them. So let's do just that. So this happens when we kill somebody with the Spear of Rage ability. And that was a orb that contained some rage that we could have picked up and gained some rage for ourselves. But, well, we weren't able to do so. Alright, so obviously we want to do the rage attack here, damaging most enemies. It has a chance to push, which just happened. So here I think I will potentially just grab the thing, but the problem is the cross here will interfere with that and damage those guys. So I'm just gonna kill the cross then. I can still give them a second turn to pick it up afterwards. Alright, I'm gonna go for the fire spiders first, because, right, I wanted to show those guys. They have poison protection, fire protection, are vulnerable to the cold, persistence of mind, and are flaming, meaning that enemies attacking them that have no immunity to fire damage will be set aflame, giving them a debuff, dealing damage every turn, and I think also lowering defense. They also have a web ability that traps enemies in place. But yeah, let's kill them. I should also use some magic to kill somebody, and that's probably gonna be those guys. Oh, I actually don't want to give my second turn to the Vikings, because I can just pick it up with the Jarls. So probably just gonna be the girls taking a second turn. So you're just gonna pick up the chest here for some extra gold, and you move ahead and hopefully kill those spiders. Second crit here, that's really good. Alright. There's also bonus for using runes, so you should use them as often as I can. Actually, let's show that here. There's medals here that you can achieve by doing various things. One of the important ones is Grand Strategian, meaning you win battles without having a single loss. So this is important for multiple reasons, but mostly you get more leadership, and in the beginning this is really useful. Also we have Rune Master, so using runes makes them eventually more effective. We also have this one here, gaining us more mana restoration between battles once we've killed enough troops with spells. This is for rage use, and I think the rest is not that special as of right now. Okay, let's continue. We found some boots and some more spider eggs here. Just more defense, which is nice. And there's nothing in this skeleton here, but there's eggs here. Let's take the eggs. We're also fighting a new troop of spiders. We have now 2 stacks of fire spiders, so I want them gone as soon as possible. Because of the flaming, this can really mess you up. We'll hopefully not see it anyway soon, but once we do get to the point, I will certainly tell you. So, the cave spider is something we haven't seen yet, so they are also stronger on the ground and have stone skin, meaning physical defense. And they also have the web ability, as the fire spiders do. So let's just kill this one off then. Another rage orb, or actually I don't remember how it's called. Alright, let's look at spells. We can only kill 2 here, we can kill 4 here or 5 there. Let's get rid of poison spiders. Poison can also be really nasty. Alright, so with those guys I will go for the chest here and then use the second turn to actually get it. And here I will actually take control of the spiders here in order to take the chest, because they might do that without my help. So I want to do that. The chests can be really useful at times. There's also a metal that gives you a bonus for the chests you've dug up. So using runes just because using runes. And let's attack those spiders here. Ranged attacks will not cause them to be set aflame for obvious reasons. Alright, perfect. So you guys also just pick up that. And now we're done with that. Okay, so these guys will act the next turn, so I should probably do something about that. And the best thing to do something about that is this one here, killing 2 stacks at once. And these guys can't really do anything for the moment, so I will just go over here and pick up some rage. As you can see, we got 5 for free. And I'm just gonna wait with those guys, putting on some defense. I want to get those spiders to be hostile again, so I will just also use defense here and wait. And now I can actually use a spell if I want to choose to do so. I will not kill it, so it's probably worthless. So let's go here, do the battle cry, because that will give experience, which can level the unit up. And let's now kill them. Nice. We are now full at range, but almost empty on our mana. We also got a level up, and as you can see, we got some runes. Runes can be spent on leveling up our character, and this is probably a good point to actually do that. So we have some schools of magic here: Order Magic, Rune Magic, Distortion Magic, and Chaos Magic. So Chaos is focused on fire and poison, mostly. Distortion is a very wide field of generally useful things. Order Magic is kind of the holy school, and Rune Magic is ice magic and focused around the runes. So since these arrows indicate what kind of precondition you must have in order to go a certain path, and I want to be focusing on Rune Magic, just because I think it's underused. So in order to get there, we need to pick up linguistics, which gives us more intellect, which directly increases our spell damage. So I will do that and then probably just save up. I could also go for meditation, which gives us more mana and recovery speed of mana. Should I do that now? I think we can. As a soothsayer class, we gain mostly the magic runes, a decent amount of spirit runes, and very few might runes. Meaning we will not go very far into this tree, because they cost mostly might runes. A decent amount here, and here we will probably take pretty much everything. Over the turn of the game, of course. Alright, there's also a shield here. Let's equip that for a second, for more defense. And finally, some eggs, and in this corner we find finally Gutterm's horn. You pull from the mud a big horn of an unknown animal, richly decorated with precious stones. This can be no other than the famous horn of Gutterm, which can hold a draught of no less than half of the barrel at a time. You have seen it in the hands of the blacksmith at every feast, and now it is time to return this treasure to its rightful owner. Half a keg of beer, huh? It's like those jokes about just one wine glass, and then it's like a wine glass that can hold the entire contents of a wine bottle. Alright, let's talk to the guy. No jokes now, Olaf. Have you found my horn? I have a passionate need to wet my throat. Yes, I found it. Here it is. It took quite a bit of searching, but then finally I found it. All grimy and filled with muck and spider droppings. Ignoring you, Gutterm immediately fills the horn to the brim and drinks it in one fell swoop. Phew, that's Odin's grace, that is. Oh, thank you, Olaf. You have truly saved my life. Well, so to speak. Here's to you. Pour me one then, blacksmith. You don't get too far ahead of me. Or don't you get too far ahead? Oh dear me, no. It is not yet time for you to put down your axe. I still haven't explained the most important thing. I knew this was too good to be true. So what do you want now? Need me to fetch you a snack? Don't speak to your elders like that. Now listen closely. Your father sent you forth and placed a bounty upon any ghoul you find. But you have not yet faced the undead, and you don't yet know how they may be defeated. Here you are right. Haven't had a chance yet. Like tasting the beer in your keg. No more jokes. Beer is a serious matter. But with the undead, there I can help you. We caught this morning a dozen black magic ghouls traveling nearby our village. We first thought to burn them with ash to dispel their dark sorcery, but their father has asked that we lock them up so that our young warriors might test their skills in the practice room. You really caught some black magicians? Black magic is dreadful business, and you make a mistake if you count these monsters harmless. Now go forth and defeat the foul creature. Seriously now, Gutterm, to fight a prisoner? Oh, don't worry about that, my lad. Yes, if it were a man, that would be a shameful thing indeed. But worry not, it only looks human. Inside it's all just rot and black magic. Creatures such as this are no more human than a shrubbery. I'd not hesitate to kill one, if it fell to me. But he's unarmed. Not much of a listener, eh? I said that they're masters of black magic. He'll summon up a skeleton and slice you to bits if you play silly questions with him like you do me. But you'll see for yourself in a moment. Very well, blacksmith. I'll make quick work of it. Alright, let's go deal with them then. So here we have some gold lying around, and let's just search the area for a bit. Yeah, we got some treasure. Nice. I usually scour the area for hidden treasures first, especially in this tutorial area, because it can make quite a difference in the long run. A spirit rune, nice. There was nothing inside here, sadly. Let's just check all the corners in this place here. Nice runes. Alright, one more magic crystal, that's nice. Okay, time to go further. More gold, and nothing in here it seems like, except for some leadership banner. Don't get me wrong, that's actually quite a big deal. And more leadership, that's nice. Leadership is extremely important early on. The more you have early, the better it is. Alright, nothing else here, so let's just talk to this captive necromancer. Finally, Mesolitis is broken. I really thought everyone had forgotten about this poor, unfortunate prisoner. Who are you, stranger? So I can now just attack him or start talking. As Guthrum told me not to do. I'm Olaf, son of Tormund, and I came to kill you. Wait, king's son, curb your strength. I see in you great power, power with which you could seize everything you ever wanted. I will help you. I will teach you how to use this gift of immense power. I can make you lord of the island, and of all the surrounding islands. If you are so powerful, how come a simple blacksmith was able to catch you and put in this prison? Good question, very good question. It was an unfortunate coincidence. I was taken by surprise while I was asleep. But you, oh, we'll show them all what pure power it truly means. Oh yes, we'll teach those unwashed Vikings a thing or two. Watch your tongue, I'm a Viking too, you know. So I can again just attack them. Forgive me, Olaf, king's son. My foolish comment certainly was not meant to include you, of course. I see you took a bath only today, yes? I can sense the aroma of mountain flowers. Such remarkable talent. Perhaps your nose has fallen off? That's not flowers, it's seal oil, a fine remedy for mosquitoes and midges. So, yeah, again, attack possibility. Seal oil. How charming? Well, let's forget about this remarkable tool for mosquito control and return to our earlier conversation. I can't believe we were having one. Oh, curse of the Dark Lord, why are Vikings so stupid? We were just discussing the possibility of you promising to release me in exchange for vast amounts of the power and authority. Oh, well, that I do recall, though I don't recall having promised you anything. And again, I don't attack them. Oh, sorry, true, very true. So what do you think of my proposal? I don't trust you. Now, if you were to back up your words with something more tangible, something useful... I understand. Words are empty, but gold. The only pity is I do not have any. Those brave Vikings who imprisoned me here took it all. But I have something far better and more suitable for the king's heir. Here, a scroll. Read it and you will know the mystery of the most poisonous of magics. I gained a poison skull scroll. That's all you can offer me? Some kind of philosophical diploma? You thought I wouldn't be able to read it, eh? The young king is quite correct. What need has he of secret knowledge when he has such superb strength? Well, I have something else that may come in handy for any soldier. He gives you power rune, spirit rune, and a magic rune. There, now I've given you everything I have. Now you see how much I want to help you? Just get me out of here. Thanks for the runes. I might even consider freeing you, but then if Guthrum were ever to find out... Oh, you deceitful sack of pus, you vile maggot, you son of a worm. You dare to try and cheat me? You're foolish enough to face a master of black magic and try your paltry trickeries? Behold my wrath, you loathsome leech. I'll make you my eternal servant, son of dust, an obedient undead servant. Oh, so that's what you mean to do. Well, do your worst. So, we have here the decaying zombie. They're undead as well as the spiders before them. They're decaying, that means when they're killed, they have 10% chance of releasing... Ptomaine, what's that? It's basically just a curse, not a curse, a plague that will lower some stats of own units and increasing morale of undead units. They also have the same necro energy mechanics. They have a run ability for 2 additional movements, and they can pass all their action points up to a different allied unit, so that's quite strong. They also have the skeleton archer. They are undead, a shooter, so also primarily at range, bone, which reduces their damage from arrows by a lot, and take more damage from heavy or siege weapon attacks, as well as necro energy. They have a poison arrow that poisons the target and a black arrow that dispels enemy buffs. So since they're ranged, they're gonna be a priority target for me. Alright, and that's all of them already. So we don't have any rage, so we can't use that. But I can use my Spear of Wrath against these guys here. Hopefully not killing them outright. Yes, alright, so let's kill them with magic then. Okay, I will hold back the Vikings for now, because these are strong enough that they can actually do some serious damage here. So I will just defend and wait. Those guys... So against undead there's only a 50% chance of actually succeeding, and they have level 2, so there's a decent chance he might fail, but let's try anyway. Let's also defend. And yes, it failed. Okay, let's also bring the Jarls forward. And I guess also wait for the turn here. And I will also wait with the Slingers here. So this is one of the bad things that can happen. The enemy have a hero leading them. That means they can also use the spellbook and do some damage to us with spells. We've been hit by a poison spell here, killing 4 units of the Vikings, also inflicting the poisoning debuff there. So that's actually gonna be quite bad. So I will try to damage those guys here. Didn't even kill a single unit, but now I'm gonna use the Viking Vortex. Probably against these ones here. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is, instead of using my second turn on the Vikings, I will use the second turn on the Warrior Maidens, so that they can use their Resurrection ability. Move these guys forward, and you guys will probably just... Actually, let's make use of you. Let's put you here, to a Rune of Attack, and go Berserk. Those guys can also attack a second time. So they have now taken damage, and you saw this aura popping up, meaning that there's now a plague afflicting my stats of the Viking. Alright, and you will, as said, use the Resurrection ability on the Vikings. We still lost a unit, that's sad. So since they had the highest initiative and they were in Berserk, I couldn't control them and they lost a unit. So not much I can do there, but I can do something here. Potentially killing them both. Yes, that actually worked quite nicely. A lot of bubbling going on. Alright, so let's attack those guys here. Right. I want you to advance, and I want you to hold steady for the moment. I definitely should also attack you guys here from range. And do it again over here. So they just cast a plague on my Jarls, lowering some stats for them. But now they should be low enough for us to be able to kill them. So unfortunately we lost one troop here. I will lose the troops after I'm done with this kind of tutorial area. But that means I will not get advancement for the medal here. Grand Strategian. Which is sad, because that was just bad luck, basically. Let's go back and report back to Guthrum to finish off this tutorial area. Well, Olaf, have you defeated the Dark Sorcerer? Of course, although it wasn't easy. That sorcerer has powerful curses. He called upon the forces of darkness and his spells howled in the wind. But then I showed him how to fight like a true Viking. That's fine, my lad. That's the trick with magicians. A good blow with the axe between the eyes is a cure for any sort of divination. Well done, lad. The sorcerer tried to trick me into joining him. He said they have much need of such strong and agile warriors as myself. He promised me wealth and power, so... Don't you believe it for a second, Olaf. Remember, the undead never keep their word. Duty and honor have no meaning to the lifeless. Why should they? Nay, the best thing you can do if you see a ghoul smash it as hard as you can. I cannot read. Between the eyes. Haha. Guthrum lovingly pats the hammer hanging from his belt. Well, are you ready to get out there? Out here? Out of here. By the beer in my belly. I've taught you what I know, and you'll figure out the rest for yourself. Now it's time for me to get back to my forge. Thanks, Uncle Guttorm. I've already figured out that although it would be nice to have a beer before the battle, sometimes it's awfully hard to come by. Alright, with that the tutorial is over. We get a title, which is basically meaningless, and we get some free stuff here. So as you can see, we are now back with the starting troops, and this is actually a way of duplicating the troops. This is why I've unloaded myself right before. So I'm just also going to drop those off, because I'm gonna not use any of those, since they are way too weak. And let's go buy something that's actually a bit better. Actually, I have already forgot what's in the castle. So, a good starting troop, I think, is the Berserkers. They're quite nice. Let's get me some of them. Our leadership is 240, so not that high. So we can now also go to the forge here. Hello, lad. Hello. What brings you to my smithy? Show me what you have for sale. So we can buy some boots or a belt. But most of all, these are amazing. And I will also get the axe throwers. I will show those in a second. I actually haven't shown you the berserkers yet, so there are slightly better Viking units. Like the Viking the unit, not Viking the faction. So they also are hardened, they have shock shield, meaning they can follow up a counter-attack. Have mad fury, so they go berserk after losing half their troops. Ignoring pain gives them more damage resistance after taking damage, and have some runes. They are also with a reloadable speed boost and the berserker ability that we already had on the Viking unit. Alright, so we also have the axe thrower. So those guys also are hardened, they sometimes evade attacks, they throw axe up to 3 cells away. They don't have a melee penalty, and some runes. They also have a stronger axe throw here, and they can also attack in a circle around them. Also quite nice, they have quite some health as well, so usually a good unit to keep. Alright, so we could buy more Vikings here if I want to, but let's not do that for a second here. We also have Floki here. Oh, where are you going, Olaf? I must warn you that the road ahead is not safe. Father entrusted me with an important mission. I must find out where those undead hordes are coming from. Yes, I can see who Tormund trusts the most. Stay here for a minute, I'd like to speak with you. What business could you have here, Floki? I wanted to go to the mountain. It seems to me that most of the undead are from up around there. I even gathered a small troop, but this morning I had a vision that made me realize I'd better not carry out my plans. That's why I decided to stop halfway and wait for a while. And then you appeared. What an interesting coincidence, don't you think? You mystics always fall into trances. I'm sure you see worse things than that. Please don't confuse things. When we enter a trance, we do it of our own free will and only when necessary. But a vision appears all of a sudden and it's more like a dream. Anyway, I won't go against my vision. I'll remain here. But since I now have some free time, I would like to spend it for a good purpose by performing several rituals. The problem is, I need a rune to fall into a trance. Any rune, just one. Bring me a rune, and depending on its type, I will give you the opportunity to hire one of my parties. I will also provide you with some scrolls, since I don't need them anyway. Scrolls and warriors. Knowing you, I can assume that you've gathered the right guys. It's a deal, Floki. I will bring you some runes. So I can now talk to him again. I'm waiting for you, Olaf. I need runes, remember? I can't perform my ritual without them. I have runes for you. Excellent, just excellent. Alright, I will say you're different warriors for different runes. Warrior Maidens for the Might rune, Jarls for the Spirit rune, and Soothsayers for the Magic rune. Plus, for every rune I receive, I will add some extra mystics, so you definitely won't come away with the short straw. Choose who you need most. So, I have a source of Warrior Maidens. It is not that great of a source, it will run out rather soon. But still, it's a source. Warrior Maidens are great and I will want to have them at all times. But I would also like to have a Jarl, and I don't really have any way to getting any of them on this island, so maybe I should get the Jarls instead. I know for a fact that I can get Soothsayers just up ahead of the path, so not that big of a deal. Yeah, let's get some Jarls. Thanks for giving me the rune, Olaf. The preparations are finished and I can perform the rituals. Flocky's eyes glow blue and barely audible spell escapes his mouth. Now you can buy the warriors you want, Olaf, and here's your reward. When you get the chance, whop those dead guys on my behalf too. Hey Flocky, you're looking a bit strange. Your eyes are glowing and your aura is kind of... Oh, you mean this? Don't worry, I'm just getting ready for another trance. I need to try harder than usual and expand the boundaries of my worldview, and right now I'm accumulating energy. Do you know, by the way, that a mystic can fall into a trance so deep that you can only snap them out of it if you whack them on the head? Truth be told, you need to be really self-confident before performing something like that. Oh, I understand. Thank you, I'll keep that in mind. Whenever I find an entranced mystic, I need to whop them on the head with something on hide. Goodbye, Flocky, and thank you for the warriors and scrolls. Okay, let's look at what he can sell now. So a potion of mana, a shield that we already have, I think, some mystics which we cannot afford because of the leadership, as well as Jarls that we cannot afford because of leadership, and some spells. The spells actually can be quite useful. We have here a flaming arrow, so an attack scroll, we already saw the healing one at first, runic word that gives us runes, and bless, which just makes our troops do maximum damage. So 30 for this one, for example. So I will come back once I have more leadership in order to buy some things there. But I think this is a good stopping point for our first episode. If you liked it, please come back next time where we will explore the island a bit and stock up our troops and do some more battles. Also, since this is the first time I've ever done something like this, please give some constructive criticism. Maybe you'd like me to skip the readings of the text. I mean, you can always pause and read it for yourself. I just thought it's maybe a bit more entertaining that way. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.